train to come. You don't need no baggage, you just get on. All right, folks, I'm here. You are listening to Nichols Live, and I am Larry Nichols. I'm a little wounded today, but I am here. Now, the good news, folks, the good news is the phone is working so we can take calls. The bad news is I will not hear it ring. So when you call in, you'll just have to say hello and let me know you are on the line, okay? Let me know you're on the line. Now, for people that you want to get to listen to the program, let me give the number. It's 40, and it's very important today. Today's program is very important. So you may want to get people to listen in if you can. The listen in number is 401-283-6754. That's 401-283-6754. Be sure, please be sure to tell them when they get there to press 1 for channel 1 so that they're there with us. Now, I don't say this enough, and I should. You can also go to leadingedgeradio.com. leadingedgeradio.com and hear the program. If all else fails, tell them to go to Larry Nichols Facebook, Conway, Arkansas, and everything is there to listen to the program. You with me? Please go there. Now, the call-in number to be on the program today, and just give me about 10, 15 minutes before you call, is 501-499-6022. 501-499-6022. Now, when you call in, we got the thing working, but the bad news is we don't have a little dinger thing to tell me that somebody's calling in. So, and Alden doesn't get it there in the studio. So today, when you call in, you need to say hello, acknowledge that you're there so that I know you're on the line. Now, I may not come right back to you. So but please, when you call in, I want you to say hello, acknowledge that you're there so that I know you're on the line. And the call-in number is 501-499-6022. And if you don't want to call in and you want to text, remember, you can still text me at 440-897-0611. Now, guys, listen, this weekend it was tough. Kind of had a setback medically, and you hear me. I'm wounded. I'm not doing real well. Thanks to a few people, a few friends, I'll not mention them, I was able to get the meds that I had to have. It's just I didn't respond very well. I'm doing what I can, guys. I'm hanging in as best I can. Now, today, I've got to beg y'all to raise $400. $400, please. I cannot miss it. I can't. And by the way, the people that normally bail us out, you know, they've given too much. They can't keep bailing. We're just tapped. So it's up to y'all. It's up to you. You're listening. If you can, to help me, please. We got to get 400 by the end of this program. Now, a couple of important things. A couple of our friends have been hit by scams on the internet. Now, I want to tell all of you, please, dear God, please, they are moving rapidly to try to steal from us. And some of the scams on the internet are so real that no one virtually cannot fall for it. So all I'm going to say to everybody, please don't take a phone call from somebody. Don't respond to some plea on the internet from anybody. Don't. If you do, they can wipe you out. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? This is incredibly important. You know, I've warned about us going primal as we get closer to this event where the country starts caving in. Villains and thugs, they're going to be hitting everywhere. Right now, we've got to deal with the first wave. The first wave of people are the people that know how to use the internet to rob and steal you of every cent you have. I'm begging you. I'm begging every one of you, do not fall for anything on the internet. And it's not a sign of weakness on your part or not smart or whatever. These people are absolutely experts at making all of this stuff seem so real. I mean that. Now I'm going to tell you what I want you to do. If you have nothing else that you can do, when you get any kind of attempt from somebody asking you to help them, and I'm talking about somebody that you think, you know, maybe this is real, not the ones that you figure out fairly quickly that it's some kind of scam, but one that you think might be real. Will you at least do me one favor? Before you participate at any level, and I'm talking about before you send a return email, before you call them, and I don't care if it says IRS, FBI, Chase Bank, it don't matter. If you think it's real, will you do me one favor? Call me at 440-897-0611. 440-897-0611. And I guess you're wondering why. Why? Well, guys, if it's real, I have the wherewithal and the ability with the people I know to find out. I will find out. I'm not perfect either, so, you know, golly gee, I'm setting myself up to make a mistake and make me look bad, but I'm just telling you, generally speaking, at least call me. It would not hurt you if you are concerned about it, and it's probably a more legitimate thing. Anytime you get anything that at least seems to the point to where it might be legit, you think, you know, you may want to call the Attorney General of your state. They have offices set up strictly to handle this kind of fraud. But you better watch out. These people are slick, they're slippery, and in a matter of seconds, they will literally take every cent you have. Every cent. Now, do that for me. And just to understand that this is the first wave. This is the first wave of this thing falling apart. And these criminals that are out there, they're coming in the first time. They'll use that thing called a computer. And they're going to use it to try to get you. And once they get you, it's hard, if not impossible, to get your money back. At least, I suggest primarily, first thing you do, call your Attorney General's office for your state. They've got offices set up to handle it. They can help you, but short, if you don't want to do that, at least call me and give me a chance to check it out and see if it's real. Please. I mean, I'm here to try to warn you that it's coming. And you said, Larry, well, you said the first wave. Let me tell you, that's the first wave. If Donald Trump don't win, folks, the second wave is when it starts getting local. And then when it caves in, they're coming to you. They're coming to your homes. They're going to steal what they don't have or what they want. And there'll be gangs, marauding gangs, working neighborhoods, working entire cities, putting entire cities into submission. You want to know why? Everybody talks about, well, there'll never be a day they'll have martial law. You know, it just won't come. I assure you, these criminals can hit a city, a community so hard, shooting, killing, that the community will beg for the federal government to come in and help because local government won't be able to take care of it, or at least so it would seem. I'll talk more about that later. Next thing I want to talk about, and this is very, very real. I found out the new strategy that they're going to use on Donald Trump. A new strategy is coming. This new strategy is one where when Donald Trump is scheduled to go into a community to speak, and you know how he has these huge audiences that come out, now we know the answer. Now we know what Hillary and what's his name, Soros, what they've been up to. Why have they been paying these antagonists to show up and start the riots? Those aren't protests, those are riots. What you saw in San Jose, California, that wasn't a protest, that was a riot. Well, now we know why. It now turns out that what their goal is, as Donald Trump is scheduled to come into a community to speak, he gets a permit to have this large crowd, this big room. Communities are going to start rejecting his permits. Communities are going to stop letting him come in. You know why? They're going to say because they do not have the manpower. They don't have the money or the manpower to provide the security necessary, because whenever Trump comes in, obviously there's this huge protest, which actually is a huge potential riot. And these cities are going to start claiming that their funds are already depleted. They don't have the money to be able to pay the police to work overtime. They don't have the money to provide, off-duty policemen that come. They don't. And they're going to start canceling his appearances. And then, of course, if they cancel his appearance, it's all designed to help Hillary win. All designed to help Hillary win. I've told y'all since day one. I've told you. I've warned you that when this race gets between Trump and Hillary, it's going to move to a level that you've never even heard of, much less ever seen before. Dirty tricks. I mean, every trick in the book will be used. Every media in the country will turn and be used. I heard this morning that the Washington Post apparently, I don't know that it's true, but apparently they have set aside some 20 reporters to go after Donald Trump. How many did they go after Hillary with? None. Maybe one, maybe two. But they're going next week to accuse Trump everything from having been on cocaine to being a queer. Yeah. And it's going to be a steady barrage of just one thing after another. Well, I got my message from all, and it's time for the first commercial. Now, guys, Nothing as yet has dinged on PayPal. Nothing. Nothing. I've got to get, before this program is over, $400 to meet the medicine that I gotta have. And if you knew how sick I was, you would understand. Will you please help me today? It's that critical. It's critical. It's more important than you can imagine. Somebody go to PayPal now, please, to nicholslive@aol.com. That's the PayPal account. Go to PayPal and then hit nicholslive@aol.com. And I have been remiss to mention the fact that you've got to put it under donation versus purchase. I had about 4 or 5 people that sent via like they were purchasing something. I can't get that money if you do that. I have to refund it. And then the people have to send it again. Please. Today is critical. My God, today is critical. Will you help me? Will you? We're getting to the point where it's going to be kind of important that I be able to do what I got to do. And I need your help to do it. So please, somebody go PayPal, please. Nobody. Well, here's one. Thank God. Thank you. Mary sent 10. Thank you, Mary. Thank you, honey. Thank you so much. All right. I'm going to take calls. So you can call at 501-499-6022. When you call in, be sure to say hello or something because I will not see or hear the ringer ring. I got this from Greg. We're at 7,024 listeners live. Great, great. From Monday, popping that 7,000. When you add our YouTube, we're going to be well over 10,000 folks. We're going this week to make our first call. Our army is going to ride this week. Now, he sent also 66 murders in Chicago alone over the weekend. Do you realize there were more murders in Chicago than like in Fallujah or Baghdad, Kabul? And for all of those people, oh, great. Hold on, I've got it. This is Nico from Alex Jones. I got to do this. Please bear with me 1 second. All right, that was Alex Jones. I will be going on tomorrow. Folks, this is real critical. Please, is somebody there on the line?
Hi, Larry. It's
Hello.
Mary.
Hey, Mary, how are you?
Doing honey. Happy Monday. Hope you're feeling
Happy
better.
Monday to you. Well, you've been awful helpful, but it's been a rough weekend. I don't know that.
I know. Okay. Well, I just wanted to say, I'm having a little financial spot myself, as you know. I had nothing well earlier this year, and so I can only send a little, but we got 7,000 people out there. If we could just use the power of multiplication, we all just send a little bit, and it would be a lot of money to use, So I just wanted to send along that message.
God.
Please match me, people.
Mary, I just would give the world for that. So nobody had to do a lot, and everybody could do a little. And I understand, Mary. Mary, I understand that I'm worthless. Yeah. I know that. But
you're not worthless, Larry. we just, it's just, people have to understand the power of multiplication. They get overwhelmed, and then so the same people over and over get sent, a larger amount, and they're a little bit more able to, but it's crunching them too. So we get 7,000 listeners, and they just could send a little bit, just not get overwhelmed, and just send a few dollars. You multiply that by 7,000 people, and we have results. So
I know.
I just wanted to say
I
it's
just
real
got
important. It's real.
I just got 10 from Carla. Carla, that is
Yay!
so. That's thank you.
Yay!
I don't
And
know
keep
what to
that
say.
keep those little $5 and $10 coming in, and you multiply them, and it just works. That's all. And then nobody has
It does.
it's not, yeah. And the ones that can send more, that's fine. But us people that can't, then it really works. And you don't have to be overwhelmed or feel like you're not sending enough if everybody sends a little bit. I just wanted to reiterate that today.
Now, Mary, let me ask you something. I've got other callers. Let me ask you something. What do you think about the strategy that they are going to use to block Donald Trump from speaking by having the cities say they, and this, Mary Ellen, I just got yours. You got 20 from Mary Ellen. What do you think about that?
About
About them
think
blocking Trump by saying that they don't have the money to pay for the additional security that is required to protect, the people at these speeches. What do you think about that?
Well, I think there's a lot of stuff. There's layers upon layers of conspiracy going on here with trying to stop him. You know what I mean? So my personal feeling is I'm a believer. So my personal feeling, and I said this to someone the other day, I could be a blessing in disguise, because you never know. Because Obama is just chomping at the bit for something to get out of hand, and it almost got out of hand the other day. Well, it did. People got hurt. So he's just chomping at the bit to have this clamp down on us. Well, it could be a blessing in disguise. Trump may
Mary, let me tell you this. Let me just say this. Do you realize that you people in our army, we're the ones that have got to stop the cities from blocking Trump to come in? Are you aware of that?
Yeah, we're going to have to do some work to make sure that we can get him in there. But I'm almost wondering if something gets out of hand, because these rioters are getting so bad. We know they're paid agitators. That could be working against us too. That could work against us too, because if this country goes in lockdown, it's not going to be any good. So it's a hard call, Larry. It's a really hard call.
Mary, just know this. We, me and you, all of us hearing me right now, we are the front line that is going to stop these cities from blocking Donald Trump from being able to speak. We are.
Yeah, we'll do everything we can.
And I will show you. I will show y'all how. I will.
Okay.
Just bear with me this week.
All right.
This week, our army is going to march, and we're going to shut this move down. And everything that Hillary and these scumbags try to pull, this is where, if I'm of any value, it's because I know what they're going to do before they do it, which gives us time to block it and stop it. Mary, thank you. I've got to run, dear. Hello. Whoops. Are you there, Mary? Did I lose you? I didn't mean to cut her off. Okay, Alden said I lost her. Mary, I didn't mean to. I wasn't cutting you off. I certainly didn't mean to. We have gotten in, let me just say, we've gotten in 40 of the 400. Thanks to y'all. Thank you so much. We're the ones that are going to have to stop it. There's no way under God's good earth, in God's good earth, no way we're going to let them block Donald Trump from being able to exercise his right of freedom of speech, and for people to go and hear him speak, and to use a technicality at the city level Ain't gonna work. We're not gonna let it work. We are not going to let it work. Are you with me? Are you? Please be with me. Now, a big part, as I go on tomorrow with Alex, if we can pull it, if we can make it work, a big part of stopping it is by talking about it before it happens, making it known before. I don't know what there is about it, but everybody and their brother's calling me today when I'm on the air. It's about once we make it public that that's what they're going to do, then they can't do it, or at least they can't do it as easily as if they just slip it up on everybody. That's our job. We're going to do it. And if I can get on Alex and using Alex's broad audience plus ours, we can get the word out. We can spread it. Because this is probably as dastardly a plot that has ever been devised in a presidential campaign. I mean it. Y'all don't understand. That's pretty slick. It really is. The good news is we know about it. And the good news is we can try to stop it. And once again, if you're calling in, you've got to acknowledge and just say hello when you get in, because I won't know, because there's no ringing thingy. So let me know. So please, if you're calling, just once you get through, just say hello, you're there. And I'll bring you up. Another thing's going on today with Donald Trump, and it has to do with that judge, federal judge in his case for Trump University. Donald Trump has come out and expressed his displeasure with that judge. I'm going to tell you guys, most people don't have the guts to stand up against a federal judge when they're being sued, and the judge is is the judge of the case. Most people don't have the raw courage to tell the truth. And Trump is getting lambasted by leaders of the Republican Party. Go figure that one. Mitch McConnell, the boys. I am disappointed to see Newt Gingrich even coming out a little bit against it. I just got this text. Sorry I lost you, Larry. We will work to keep our First Amendment right to rally. Just remember that if they get really bad and people are getting hurt, Obama is going to use it to really shut this place down. That's right. Trump and police got to get a plan, Mary. That's so true, Mary. But a big part of the plan, hon, is us. Big part of the plan is us. So, back to this issue with the judge. This judge, let me tell you about this judge. This judge is a damn Mexican. Member of La Raza, all right? He's actually a member of La Raza. And do you know what La Raza means in wetback Mexican? Means the race. The race. And in their eyes, they are the race. At least in this country, the way they're treated, I guess they have a right to think that, the way we seem to bow down. But I'm going to tell you something. That judge is going to screw Trump every which way from Sunday. He is. And I believe Donald Trump has done the right thing by going ahead and acknowledging. Go ahead and acknowledge that this judge is not going to be fair. Why not? The judge isn't going to be fair. Most people, out of fear, they don't dare challenge that judge. They don't dare challenge him. And then the judge gets to do whatever he wants to do. And then the person that's being shafted by these federal judges, well, they lose. They just lose. No, come out and tell the truth, Donald Trump. That's what got you where you are, and you stay the course. And as far as we're concerned, folks, certainly as far as I'm concerned, as long as he will tell the truth and not back down to pressure, as long as he'll not succumb to these people like, I don't know, all the Republican establishment guys. Hell, they wasn't for him in the first place. And now all of a sudden they're saying he should apologize to that judge. That's crazy. That's crazy. Why should he apologize to a judge that opened up and released the documents to the public in a court case that he is presiding over? Why would you apologize to him? Why? What Donald Trump needs is us. He needs us standing beside him and behind him and saying, don't do it. No more. This stuff ain't going to work. You know, guys, the whole key to states' rights, the whole key to making states' rights work in setting this country free of this tyrannical government that is choking the very life out of us right now. Do you know what it is? A state has got to declare its sovereignty, and it needs to stay out of the federal court. Now, in this case, Donald Trump can't stay out of federal court. That's where this case is brought. But he'd be a fool to shut his mouth, listen to the GOP establishment guys. Don't fall sucker and believe they're really trying to tell you something that might help you. Remember, these are the very guys that are saying they've got to do whatever they can to keep him from getting it, even if it means electing Hillary. Stand up and tell the truth, Donald Trump. And it would not hurt Donald Trump to stand up and say, if these communities where he is scheduled to speak are planning, if they are planning to fix it to where he cannot come in, he ought to say it. He ought to say it. Cheryl, I got 50, so there's 90. We're 310 away. Please, 310. I've missed the commercial. Alden told me. Today, please, guys, today, $400. Please help me. I've got to have it. I can't tell you any more than that. It's just that important today. That everybody that hears my voice, can you please come through somehow, some way? Now, you go to PayPal. When you get there, it's nicholslive@aol.com. Be sure to send it as a donation, not as a purchase, because I don't get it when you send it as a purchase. So please send it as a donation. Now, if you don't have PayPal, you can go to Larry Nichols, Conway, Arkansas on Facebook, and there you will find a button you can push, and you can use your debit card, credit card, whatever, and send it that way. But we've got 26 minutes to get there. And today there can be no one writing in to help. It's got to be us. So would you please help, please. I got this from a listener. Bikers and truckers for Trump. If cities deny permits, maybe bikers and truckers for Trump will offer free protection for Trump events if the cities say they can't afford it. Yes, got a caller. Yes, ma'am. Who's this?
This is Mary Ellen.
Hey, Mary Ellen. How are you? Thank you.
I want people to know I talked to you this weekend, and what you said about being sick this weekend was true. I could hear it in your voice. You had a really hard time, and we had to end the call because of it. But I want people to know that
there are so many things that we can do to be able to afford to help you. I didn't get to take my disabled daughter out for lunch yesterday because of the storm that came through, so I can afford to give you a little extra today that I wasn't thinking I could do. I haven't turned my air conditioning on because I'm hoping my bill will be low enough that I can send you the difference of what it would normally be. Don't sweat me, but it's okay. You're worth it. And if we care about our country, we've got to support you to help take this back. And as Carla said, if we only just give all of us a little bit, it'll add up.
So, Mary Ellen, you're such a friend. So many of you are. I just want y'all to know that, and Mary Ellen knows this, she's talked to me, it eats me alive to beg y'all for money. It eats me up. But I'm in this hell of a predicament where I can't even let go. I just can't let go. I can't go on and be with the Lord with a clean conscience. I just can't. I don't like to whine. I don't want to be a wimp. I try not to be. Damn it, this is the country. And you're getting a sample, Mary Ellen, all of you, you're getting a sample of how low these people will stoop to block Donald Trump. They will play every trick in the book and some that have not even been put in a book yet. And all I ask on this earth of God, all I ask of God, give me the time here to stop her the way I can. I know them.
Larry, give your address. Give your address so people, if they can't do PayPal or the Facebook connection, they can wrap a couple dollars in foil and mail it to you.
All right, it's number 58.
That's what I did in the beginning.
Right, it's number 58, Kensington, Kensington Drive, and that's Conway, Arkansas. That's AR for Arkansas, AR. And the zip is 72034. 72034. Now, if you didn't get that, and I know most of you didn't, you can go to our YouTube site, Larry Nichols Live. Alden puts my address up there. It's also on my Facebook. Chris puts it up there. And yes, Mary Ellen's right. You can slip $1 or $2 in there and mail it. Everything counts. Everything helps. Please, I have no right to ask. I understand that. You have no
You do have a right to ask because
give.
you know that we care about this country and you're going to make a difference for what we have that's coming ahead.
Mary Ellen, I wish I could swear to you. I wish I could say to all of you, I mean this, guys. I really wish I could say to all of you, you help me get through this and just keep me around so I can do it. And I swear to you, I'll stop it. I can't do that. I swear to you, I will give everything I have to do it. I've already dedicated 1/3 of my life to doing it. They know I can do it. It's just whether, I just can't make that kind of guarantee. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I will tell you this. We, as a group, can make one hell of a difference, Mary Ellen. One hell of a difference.
We can, and we should all at least give a little bit.
And Mary Ellen, when I give that number that we crossed over to 7,000 to 7,024, which is what it was a little while ago, I know that doesn't sound like many, guys. But let me tell you, in this world of internet radio, listening live to a telecast in the middle of the day, when Alex is on, Rush Limbaugh's on, Glenn Beck is on, and all the others are on, that's huge. That's a huge number. Don't be afraid of that number. That's huge because we report real numbers. I don't have a bunch from China that I pay $99 a month to that submits all of these fake caller listeners, so it looks like I got 1 million worldwide. This ain't 1 million. These are your real people. You're measured as real people. Unheard of in the trade, unheard of in the industry. Be proud of that number. And I assure you, one day soon, Mary Ellen, I'm going to bring Pastor Ernie Sanders on. Okay? I'm going to bring him on. And he's going to tell you, I did not know, Mary Ellen, I did not know. I've told y'all 10,000, but I look at that from a strategic perspective of force multiplication, what we can do with 10,000 real people that really work. I didn't know 10,000 was a significant number in the Bible. I didn't know that. He's going to explain it. But anyway, we're going to make it happen. I got this from a listener. Mary Ellen is so right. $5 or $10 a month multiplied by thousands of listeners adds up to enough money. Little itty bits all add up. Never think that just sending a little is not helping. We need to keep you in treatment. We need to fight for our country and the kids, Mary. And I don't think
I don't know if you remember what I told you I was doing this weekend, but
yes,
it's just about done. So you can look forward to that.
Good.
And I'm going to hang up and let somebody else call.
Thank you, Mary Ellen. And by the way, Mary Ellen has been gracious enough to make me a blanket, which if you've ever been in the hospital, folks, I freeze. I've lost so much weight. I've lost so much blood. I literally, on those beds, if that's what you want to call them, and they give you they call them blankets, but Mary Ellen, they're pretty much sheets. I freeze. I just literally freeze. And she has made a blanket. Tell them what's on the blanket.
It's a patriotic quilt. And it's got red, white, and blue. It's got flags. It's got a log cabin quilt pattern. It's got the split rail fence pattern. So it's a very mix of tradition and modern and stars, because Larry's our star that's leading this patriotic army to try and take back our country.
Bless your heart, honey. Look forward to getting it. And she had offered to auction it off like Warren Hall did on that. Don't forget, everybody that sends $25, for every $25, you get another ticket at the end of the month for a drawing for this nightstand that can sit, that hides a weapon. And Mary Ellen was going to use it as something to give away. But in this case, folks, forgive me for being selfish, but it is so cold. I get so cold. I just need it. Anyway, thank you, Mary Ellen. We lost a call on somebody else that was holding. So thank you, dear.
All right. Okay, bye.
All right, guys. Thanks, Mary Ellen. We are now we're 310 away. $310, and we've got roughly 15 minutes to do it. If you're out there, please help now. Now, I don't have a chance. I don't have a snowball's chance if you don't. Now, let's go over what I've talked about today. Number one, when you call in, 501-499-6022, you must today acknowledge that you're calling in, because I don't hear a ringer. Number one. Number two, I've got to get the $400 today. Please, today, right away. Normally I have an hour after the program, but I'm so puny and sick, I've got to go straight away. And we are $310 away. You can go to Larry Nichols, Conway, Arkansas, the Facebook account, and there's a button there to push using your debit card, charge card, whatever. Or you can go to PayPal and go to nicholslive@aol.com. The next thing we talked about is a strategy that's coming up probably next week, which is going to be to block Donald Trump from being able to speak in a lot of different communities. Probably not all, but in a lot of them. And now we understand what George Soros has been up to by paying all of these antagonists to come to Trump's speeches and to stand out there and basically throw eggs, start fights, the whole 9 yards. Now you know what it's all been about. It's warming up to giving these cities the ability to block Trump from coming in by saying they just don't have the money to pay for the additional security that it will require for him to come speak, because there are so many protesters that come when Trump speaks. There are so many protesters, and those protesters have a tendency to get violent. All right, that's not right, y'all. That is not right. Donald Trump has a right to go anywhere in America where people ask him to come and to speak. And where that Hillary Clinton and people would stand out front and yell and try to cause trouble, they would bring out everything they needed to protect those people to hear Hillary. It's just because it's Donald Trump they won't. We have got to sound the warning and shut that down. We talked about that. And I want you to spread that word. Spread that word around the coffee machine, to your friends. Pass it out on your Facebook thingies, on your twits and tweeters, or whatever you call that stuff. Put it out, and you tell them where the hell it came from. It came from Larry Nichols. Do I hear a caller? Did I hear somebody on the line? Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. The next thing that we talked about today is this low-life Mexican heritage, I guess it's heritage, federal judge. Donald Trump simply coming out, which again is his right, to express his concern and, yes, his displeasure in the way this federal judge is handling this case of his. He has a right. He has a right. Federal judges are not God. It's just most people don't have the courage to tell it like it is. And a federal court then becomes a trap that you walk into that you always, always lose. In this case, by the way, against Donald Trump and Trump University, you understand this is a politics deal. This is just to hurt him. It's all this case is about. It's not going to be tried until after the election, so it's going to be used every day. Isn't it odd that there was another university, something we will be talking about, you and I, our army, something we're going to start passing out, and you need to start passing it out today. Did you know there was another for-profit university? Except in this for-profit university, Bill Clinton has been paid about $16.5 million plus. And by the way, our government, put tons of money into this for-profit university that benefits Bill Clinton. Yeah, old Bill's got a racket going, buddy. But what I don't seem to get, oh yes, I get it, and so do you. But the inequity to all of this is Trump has his university, Clinton has his university. Trump gets roasted every day about his, yet nothing comes out about the Clintons. Nothing. I mean, yeah, it's out there a little bit, but not anywhere to the level. The media has declared, and we might as well. The media has declared, without any doubt, without anybody putting up some sort of facade as to the otherwise, the media has declared they're in this thing for Trump. They're going to make sure Trump don't win. They want Hillary. They literally want Hillary. All right, I just got word. Alden's going to have to shut the phone line off in 5 minutes. So if you want to call in, do it now, because in 5 minutes we won't be able to take calls. It'll be the end of the program. 5 minutes. If you want to call in, call. 501-499-6022. And by the way, nothing, wait a minute, nothing else has come in on PayPal. Oh, God. I got this. I don't understand this message. It says, Larry, you got a real back ego on the show. I don't understand. You mean bad ego? Anyway, I don't know what you're saying. Please let me know what I don't understand. We've got to fight a media that is bound and determined at all costs to stop Donald Trump from setting foot in the White House as President of the United States. We do. We've got a bunch of GOP, that's Republican Party, establishment people that have been dragged into, quote unquote, endorsing Donald Trump. But rest assured, if I doubted that they really weren't for Donald Trump, that doubt's gone now by their position on this lawsuit case. Sure is. Oh, it says, Larry, you got a real back echo on the show. Okay, that was a typo. Echo. So some of you may be hearing an echo. I'm sorry if you are. Sometimes it loops. But see, the establishment of the RNC, they're not done with Donald Trump. They're not done. If you doubt it, they should not have come out telling him he ought not to talk bad about that judge, because that judge is in the wrong, folks. That judge should recuse himself from this case forthwith. He should recuse himself from this case. And if for no other reason, it's because he, by releasing and making public all of the documents relative to this case, by doing that, he has created a media show that has turned out to be a fight between he and Trump. So therefore, he should recuse himself. It's not going to be a fair case. It's not. No way. He needs to recuse himself. And the only thing I don't understand, I understand Mitch McConnell. I understand Paul Ryan. They will do anything to see to it that Hillary gets elected, just as long as it is not Donald Trump. I understand that. The one I don't quite understand is Newt Gingrich. Apparently, he came out saying Trump shouldn't talk bad about that judge. Newt, I don't know what's the matter with you. It's kind of like everything else, guys. If you can't talk bad about that judge, then I guess, you know what, then everything the judge does is just perfectly okay. I guess if we can't speak out the truth, if we can't open our mouths, then I guess, you know what, we lose. Remember, what were the three weapons our founding fathers gave us with the specific instructions? When our government became tyrannical, we were to overthrow it. I think we have achieved tyrannical. And the weapons were our voices collectively, and our vote. So you see, if they can stop Trump from telling the truth about that judge, there goes his voice. And if we allow them to make Trump stop talking about that judge because the RNC, GOP leaders say he shouldn't. And you know what? There goes our voices. And with that goes our vote. Got this from a listener. Says, I'm going to run an article in my blog against illegal Bill Clinton profits from his school lectures. Please share. I will put it up at Mary Carmel News by tonight. Make it viral. That's right. That's Miss Mary Carmel. I would assume it'll be up on our Facebook, Mary. We'll put it up so people can pick it up there or link there to go to you. Folks, we are force multipliers. We are force multipliers. For those of you that are new and don't know what that means we are bigger than ourselves. If we call a congressman one time, we're one phone call, one person. But if we call and then turn around and call, and then turn around and call, and then and call 5 times, you know what we are? We are 5 people. If we call City Hall about them trying or planning to block Trump from speaking, if we call each of us one time, we're one person, we're 10,000. But if we each one call 5 times, we are now 50,000. And then that's when the magic takes hold. That's when, well, golly gee, if there are 50,000 that call, then there must be 1 million that feel the same way, but they just don't call. And folks, it will scare the living bejesus out of them. It'll scare the bejesus out of them to think that there are that many people out here that have figured out their little trick. And it will make it very hard for them to do it. Because you know what? That's what all of these scum, remember this, never forget it. Maggots, when you expose the light, they run. All we have to do is just keep shining the light on them. Got this from Mary Carmel, where everyone has to pull their weight on phone calls and articles. We make a difference. Mary is so right. We make a difference. Please pull Mary Carmel's article that she'll have up tonight. Please get it out there. All right, we got a minute and a half. And we're $310 from what I've got to have, or it's curtains for me. Curtains for me. I wish you were there. Wish you were out there. I wish you'd help me. If you don't, it just don't. Anyway, yes, Alden said, don't forget, for every 25 that you donate, you get another ticket in the drawing for the concealed gun night table, Warren Hall. It's a beautiful piece. You can go to Nichols, Larry Nichols, Conway, Arkansas, Facebook, and you can actually see a picture of a table like it. Well, we got a minute. Music will be coming up here in just a second. I wish somebody, any of you out there, please, $310, it's critical. It's God help me critical to hit that amount. If you're there, please help. See you tomorrow, I hope. Over the rainbow, way up high.